Hi guys, I'm Maya and welcome to my YouTube channel. Look at me being consistent. This is almost exactly a week away from my first video. Let's go. Woo, woo. I'm doing so good. I'm doing so good. Also guys, I have a microphone and it's not very special. It's just for me to hold because I think it's pretty to look at. So just let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm still going to use it regardless if you hate it. So yeah. If you couldn't tell by today's intro clip, today's video is going to be about one of my favorite Disney series, zombies. Something. This could be ordinary. Something. Can we do something? Oh my gosh, I love zombies with my entire heart. It's literally, next to Descendants, one of my favorites ever. Now, I know everyone has their own opinions about this movie, but as cringe and as awkward as they are, they have my entire heart. So we're gonna stop all this yapping about nonsense and get right into the yapping of the video. The introduction to Zombies 1 starts off showing us the town of Seabrook, which is a very dystopian, off-colored kind of vibe. They're very peppy, everybody's very happy all the time. I would hate to be an emo in this town because they hate anything outside of pastels. But yes, Seabrook is a town full of very peppy people. It's kind of insane how excited and peppy they get, and to them this is a perfect world. All was very well until an accident at their Seabrook Power Company involving lime soda. I don't know where that comes from. An accident involving lime soda causes a magical outbreak of brain-eating zombies. And no, Disney making this montage of brain-eating zombies during a zombie apocalypse does not soften the blow at all. But good try. The rampage of their outbreak does not last very long, as the people of Seabrook have a very humane and very cautious way of handling the situation. They build a wall to keep the zombies out and contain them into this place they name Zombieland, which is very original. Very, very original. This movie's plot kicks off when 50 years into the future, zombies are finally allowed to attend human school with the uncontaminated humans. To freedom! Naturally, these human teenagers are terrified that these zombies are still gonna do something to them. They've seen or they've heard all these stories, so I mean it's only right that they have this fear of zombies being monsters. So throughout the entire movie, we have two main characters. We have Addison, who is a freshman cheerleader who is pretty much a product of her environment, as you could have guessed. She desperately wants to fit in, and so much so to the point that she hides her naturally white hair, which is very different from everyone else's, under a wig that is literally 2 shades darker than her white hair is anyway. Addison's a little oddball, so her goal in life is literally to be a cheerleader, and it's everything she's ever dreamed of. She ends up booking the role of a cheerleader at her high school, and you know, her dreams are being fulfilled. We have Zed, who is a zombie football player who's never played football a day in his life. He also wants nothing more than to just fit in with everybody else and be normal. To do this, he hacks his Z-Band, yes, the thing that's keeping him from eating people. He hacks his Z-Band in order to have a human-level football performance, which, yes, as you could have guessed, does become a problem later on in the future of this movie. Side characters: Eliza, Bonzo, Bree, Bucky, and the ACs. But I'm briefly gonna mention them, and it's not gonna be very often. So just keep the names in mind, and yeah. We get to see these two have their love story blossom through the treacherous high school hallways. The zombies, who are pretty much just humans with green hair and raggedy clothes, begin to make an effort to make friends with the humans. We see our girl Addison, who suddenly does not care about standing out anymore, begin to question her town's anti-zombie bias and starts to notice that her perfect life is not as perfect as she thought this entire time. As Addison's relationship grows with the zombies and becomes this beautiful creative little thing, the other humans see this and they hate it. So specifically Bucky and the cheerleaders, they do everything that they can in this entire movie to sabotage and stop the zombies from integrating into their school. Except for Bree. Bree's with Addison. Coach sees potential in Zed and he recruits him to play football on the football team. And of course, during the first football game, Zed sucks. He's never played football a day in his life. Like, it was a terrible assumption for him to believe that he could do great on his first football game. Mid-game, he gets the brilliant idea for his best friend Eliza to come down and hack his Z-Band, yes, the thing that's keeping him from eating people, to give him a human-level performance. All in all, he does play better. He starts to win. He starts getting all these field goals. He scores on everybody. He's tackling everybody. He's carrying them to the end zone. And all in all, he ends up winning this game and winning many more games. Start to see the zombies begin to get the benefits that they were promised from the principal early on in the movie. As we see the zombies start to grow in popularity, we see Addison's relationship with the zombies start to grow as well. So much so to the point that they invite her to their zombie nightclub where they perform my favorite song in this entire movie, Bam. And this is my favorite scene and my favorite dance number. I just like all the colors. I like the choreography that they had. It's just so like fun and so upbeat. Like, I just love this part of the movie so much. And there's also some cute moments that happen after it. So yeah, I'm gonna get into that. We get to see sweet scenes between Addison and a couple of the zombies. First, we see her and Zoe, where Zoe is asking for a puppy, and she treats Zoe like a little sweetheart. It's a very adorable exchange. And then we see her and Eliza have a little banter moment where she calls Eliza beautiful and smart and all these uplifting things, and Eliza blushes a little bit, and it's so freaking cute. And then we also see this part between her and Zed where we almost get our first Zedison kiss, but it's unfortunately interrupted by the Z Patrol.
It's beautiful. You're beautiful.
We see a very upset Zed that they have to hide their relationship, and he continues to hack his Z-Band even more, so much so to the point that he hacks his Z-Band to become a human being to meet her parents. Yeah, that's crazy. Things begin to escalate when Bucky and his squad of minions realize that Zed has been hacking his Z-Band this entire time, and they take advantage of it by not only hacking his Z-Band, but hacking his best friends Bonzo and Eliza's Z-Bands in order to sabotage him during their homecoming game. Of course, this hacking leads to them zombieing out, but unfortunately this time it's kind of uncontrollable. He does end up controlling it because he doesn't end up eating Bucky, unfortunately, but he does end up controlling it. It's kind of uncontrollable to the point where they're completely zombied out and chasing down everybody in the crowd. It's crazy that people still stayed in the stands instead of leaving, but I mean, that's Disney for you. Zed, Bonzo, and Eliza get taken away by the Z Patrol, and we see this mini little scene where Eliza admits that she's tired of waiting for change and she wants to do something big in order to stand out and show that zombies aren't going to be bullied anymore. Meanwhile, back at the football stadium, we see a very heartbroken but very determined Addison stand up to the crowd in order to show her own flaw, which is her white hair that's literally 2 shades lighter than her wig is. She decides to rip it off pretty much, showing us this terrible mop of a white wig. Like, Disney, y'all really, we've seen Descendants. Y'all could have done so much better. But yes, we see Addison show off her own flaw, which was her white hair that is lighter than everyone's and very odd to everybody else in the stadium. She sings a song about standing up for what is right, and we see like this part from Bucky where he chimes into the song about having turmoil within himself about liking zombies and not liking zombies.
How can I just forget all the things in my head? Just stand. Oh. You just stand.
And I don't know why they would add this in because it goes absolutely nowhere. This part is pretty much just so he can be in the song, I'm assuming. Bucky still hates everybody. The anti-zombie rules get reinstated, unfortunately. The zombies get kicked out of Seabrook High School, and the towns of Zombie Town and Seabrook High School are once again separated. In a fit of rage to the situation, our girl Eliza is tired of waiting for change, and she decides to take matters into her own hands. So our girl heads to the cheer off, but with the intention of sabotage and revenge. Of course, Zed and Bonzo hear this and they rush to the cheer competition in order to stop her, which they eventually do, and they come up with a better way to solve this entire thing. Through song and dance! Oh my god. In typical Disney fashion. If I was them, I would have went through with the sabotage. I mean, did y'all see what they did to my girl Zoe? No. We are not gonna let that slide.
Get off the stage, zombie!
So, allegedly, this cheerleading routine fixes everything except for Bucky. He just hates everything and everyone. We see the end of the movie where we have yet another sing and dance number. Oh wait, this one low-key a banger.
Ready for action, yeah, we about to blow up. Party's going down, but we about to go up. We got your back, no need to have worries. Now we're all cool, at first it was scurry. And we can do a lot with a little. Call on your friends when you're caught in the middle.
Then again, at the end of the movie, in typical Disney fashion, we see town of Seabrook that was once used to conformity and everything being the same and nothing being changed, learn to embrace differences within everyone and within each other. To finish off the movie, we see the cutest little embrace from Zed and Addison, giving us a tiny little hint at their flourishing relationship that we'll most likely see in the next movie. And yeah, the movie ends. Now, here's my thoughts. All in all, this movie was a fever dream of a movie. It was not terrible by any means, but it just was a little all over the place. It could have been a little more organized, I won't lie. It was a musical comedy, and we could very clearly tell that this entire movie was a hint at racism. Like, all y'all had to do was say that. Like, you can very clearly tell that this movie was a hint at racism and joining together to embrace our differences, even if we don't look the exact same or do things the exact same way. I will say that I love the fact that it had so much diversity in the characters. Like, we seen zombies with locks, we seen zombies with curly hair, we seen zombies with beautiful coils, we seen zombies with healthy curls. Like, it was so cool to see like the different zombie hair types. We even seen zombies with box braids. Like, y'all are killing it, Disney. I'm not even gonna lie. This movie, I remember being like a young girl in 2017 watching this, and I was like, oh my gosh, we have the same hair. Like, this movie like really made me confident with my hair. I will say, like, it genuinely did help me a lot when I got to see like some of my favorite characters with their natural hair out, and I was like, okay, T. I love the entire love story, and I wish it wasn't as rushed as it was, because they honestly started like flirting and getting together within the first 30 minutes of the movie, which is kind of crazy. I wish it was more of a slow burn to where we see them have their first little embrace or interaction at the end of the movie. But this movie, but I understand why it was rushed. It was probably rushed in order to prepare for the second movie, so I'm not gonna hate on it too much. I'm just gonna say I wish it was a little slower. I love me a good slow burn, so there would have been nothing wrong with that if there was. But yeah, that's my opinion. I also didn't like the fact that Addison's like white hair kind of overshadowed the entire point of the zombies. Like, it kind of overshadowed the fact that zombies are being mistreated, which was supposed to be the entire plot of the movie, but it ended up being, oh, Addison has white hair and she's being she understands how being different feels because she has white hair, because she doesn't, because she's covered her hair all her entire life, and nobody else really understands or knows that she has white hair under this wig. It's only her and her family. But yes, I wish their relationship wasn't as rushed. I feel like we as the audience knew more about them individually than they probably knew about themselves, but I still think they were very cute throughout the entire movie, and I do ship them so bad. Like, I remember seeing like the trailer for this movie and I was like, oh, they're gonna be so cute. I'm gonna love this. I also love like the color scheme throughout this entire movie, like the pink and green. Pink is my favorite color, but the pink and green like really made this movie pop. And although it could be blindingly bright, it was still very cool. Like, I liked the color scheme, and I liked the contrast between humans being overly colorful and bright, and then zombies being in contrast, like neutral colors, green and maroon, and, you know, not as bright as the Seabrook guys are. But they still had the same kind of energy. Like, it wasn't like zombies were like dull and boring. I will not say this movie was perfect because despite loving it so much, it still had its mistakes. It had a lot of inconsistencies within the plot that I don't really want to get into because this video is already getting kind of long, but I will eventually in the future have will redo this movie and then I'll talk about it in that part. Overall, I really love this movie. This movie is my favorite. I love this entire series. I can't wait to cover the rest of the series because those are actually my favorite movies. This movie is good, but it's definitely not my favorite. It's definitely in my top, my top 2 for the 4 of the movies. Not realizing I didn't even talk about the characters individually, so here we go. We have Brie, who is a very, very lovable girl. I love her energy. I related to Brie so much as a kid. She was my favorite character. She still is my favorite character besides Coach. But yeah, I loved her so much. And I'm so glad she had a part in this franchise. Moving on to Addison, who was very sweet throughout this movie. I loved her character. I liked that she was very positive all the time. I just didn't like the fact that, her whole flaw was having white hair when the zombies were standing out because of who they were. So I didn't like the fact that it's kind of overshadowing a little bit, but I understand why they did it and why I'm glad she had her purpose served, and I'm glad that the zombies went very noticed as well. Next we have Zed, and I'm not gonna lie, he is my childhood crush. He is so cute. He was so cute when I was younger, and I loved his character, Zed, I love Milo Manheim in general, but I loved Zed. He was just so sweet and so cute, and I had when I was younger, I used to have fan pages for Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim, which I'm not gonna get into because it's kind of embarrassing, but yeah, I loved Zed. He was my favorite character. I liked how outgoing and energetic he was. I just didn't like the fact that he wanted to conform so bad, which he doesn't lose throughout the rest of the series, but I hate the fact that he wants to conform so bad, but I also understand it because he's been a zombie all his life and he's been an outcast all his life. So once you start to see, oh, this is how people are fitting in, then you probably would want to conform to the way that other people are fitting in. So I don't blame him, but also I don't like it. Next up, we have Bucky, who is insanely funny. I loved all his comedy moments. Bucky is the funniest character in this movie, I'm not gonna lie. And I just didn't like the fact that he was so against everything. Not only did he only hate zombies, but he hated every person he came across. Bucky didn't even like himself, I'm pretty sure. It's insane. He wasn't just a zombies bully, he was a everybody bully. Next up we have the ACs. They didn't really play a crucial part in this movie, but I just felt like I needed to mention them because they were alright. I just felt like I needed to mention them because they did play an important part of this movie, which was finding out that he's hacking a Z-Band, and then they are the ones who made them zombie out at the homecoming game. Next up, we have Eliza, my girl, Fight the Good Fight. I loved Eliza so much. I love her hair so much. I was obsessed with her hair as a child. I didn't like the fact that they made her switch to, oh yeah, revenge is necessary at the end, but I do like the fact that she was very Fight the Good Fight in the beginning. I also don't like the fact that she was yelling and screaming fight the good fight, and then she did absolutely nothing to change anything or help with zombie integration or anything. She was just so negative. But her character ended up lightening up towards the end, and she does lighten up and do better things in the next few movies, so I'm gonna allow it. It wasn't an I hate you thing, it was just a practice what you preach type of thing. You are screaming to fight the good fight, and yes, you are down to fight the good fight, but you can't scream for change and then do absolutely nothing for change, Next up, we have Bonzo, who was kind of an irrelevant character, no shade, because he didn't have as much screen time, but he was also a really good friend for Zed. I like the fact that he was always there for him, he was a stand-up friend, but he also just didn't have any lines. I think he was there to serve the purpose of the fact that zombies had their own language, which, when did they have time to come up with a language in the 50 years that they were rampant? I have no idea, but yeah, zombies had their own language. I think that was the reason for him to be in the movie. And I'm gonna mention Coach because Coach was my favorite character. Coach was my favorite character. He reminded me so much of Corey Genshin. I was like, every time he was on screen, I just was like, yep, Corey, yep, Corey. And it's not just like the fact that they kind of do look like each other, but it's also the fact that like they have the same kind of energy. Like Corey's upbeat, he's also upbeat. So yeah. So those are all my thoughts for this movie. I really hope you guys enjoyed. My light is about to die, but give your girl a like, comment, and subscribe if you will. I adore you guys so much, and thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far. There goes my light.